This is the Good Contractor Podcast, but with a bit of a twist. Throughout the entire month of November, we'll be releasing special episodes and conversations in tandem with Company Cam's Do Good Work campaign. We'll be chatting with good contractors and a few influencers, their approach to the craft, what their crew dynamics are like, and why building legacy matters. Because there's one thing we know about good contractors, is that they do good work. It is Luke, it is John, it is Jarod Coffman. We are all here together, and we got a chance to go out and kind of see Jarod in his natural habitat, in the wild, doing good work. We wanted to watch what we gathered with Jarod, talk to him about the experience, kind of talk about what he does and a little bit more behind the scenes. So we're excited to have Jarod with us, and we're going to watch his clip real quick, and then we're going to talk to him about it. Fire it up.
You know, there's this misconception that if you're working fast, there's no way it can be good. But here's the thing, I'm not cutting corners, I'm just cutting anything that's slow. What actually pisses me off is hearing, that's just the way it's always been. Well, cool, that's how stuff stays broken. We're not just building fast, we're building smart. Constantly tweaking, improving, trying new methods, figuring out how to do custom work at production speeds. That means faster than you. All right. And we're not losing quality. Most of what we do ends up behind the walls anyway, so if we don't show how it's done, no one would ever know it was done right. That's why I started showing what we do. And yeah, some people don't get it, but when people saw our process, the whole thing flipped. Now people want to work with us and for us, because we're not stuck in the past. Company Cam shows our work our way. There's no question about the quality. And the more people can see what I see, the more they trust we actually know what we're doing. Because we do good work.
So, Jarod, let me start with the beginning. The clip's amazing, by the way. Shout out to you for letting us follow you around with cameras on a work site. Talk about innovation and speed real quick. How do you balance being fast and keeping quality high? Everybody wants to be fast, but how did you figure out a system where you're like, I can still go fast, quality's not going to suffer?
I feel like a lot of it comes from just like a baseline of like impatience and maybe even a little bit of laziness, where there's the value of having the work done right and done properly. Then there's the laziness aspect where I'm like, I don't want to spend all this time to get it there. Like, there has to be a better way. Finding those ways, and then finding like different people and different resources that show those ways. Something I always think of, for example, would be people give a lot of flack to guys who like gang cut, which basically means like if you were to cut studs for a wall, you'd cut like all of them at one time, like with one big saw kind of thing. And they're like, well, like it can be really sloppy. And it's true that there's potential for that. But as long as like the cuts are accurate and you're cutting everything at one time, it's also guaranteed that they're all going to be the exact same length. So as long as you're able to like dial in those techniques, then you can actually get better levels of quality that way.
I've heard it said, Jarod, that you should always be scared when you're competing with a lazy, ambitious person. They're going to find ways, the gang cuts across business, whatever the rest of those are, both in the work and then even in the business as a whole. A wise observation that laziness, when almost like paired with hard work, is actually super valuable. Because you don't just mindlessly go through the same thing. You're like, I wish I was doing less work. I tell people here all the time, I would like to do less. But not only are you like figuring out ways to be more efficient, you also clearly value like transparency. You're showing what's happening in videos across the board. I'm curious why you think that's important, and then how that's worked out for you with your actual customers. Like, does it really matter to them?
I think it definitely depends on who the client is. But generally, if they have an appreciation for the work in general, then they will usually have an appreciation for the transparency. Like when I was learning earlier on, I learned a lot from other sources who were being transparent and sharing. And it just seemed like the right course of action if I felt like, oh, I have this idea of something I can do, or I saw someone else do this one time. Like it was kind of motivated by the same thing that was beneficial to me.
On the transparency thing, Company Cam just launched a community where we have contractors talking. talking to customers, talking to other contractors. Do you think transparency, both from like to the customer, to other contractors, do you think that that is the future of how people like choose a builder or choose a contractor moving forward?
I think so. I mean, I think it's just like anything where you have an online presence, even if it is on a forum or something like that, you're putting more of your personality out there. And if someone feels like they already have a relationship with you or they have more of a relationship with you, they're going to be more drawn to want to use you as a contractor. So I think naturally transparency will like continue to grow in that way, as long as what you're showing transparently is, you know, actual good work. Because some people are transparently just like jerks, you know?
Yeah, but you can see it because they're transparent about it.
Kind of when you and I talked a year ago, even, and I was watching this video, you were talking about, you know, the status quo is how things stay broken.
I hope that I'm the worst that I'll ever be at my job today. The world is changing. The industry is changing. New stuff is coming out. People are innovating. If you're looking for those things and you're passionate about it and you're excited about it and you want the product that you're bringing to be the best, then you'll be on top of that and you'll always be getting better.
What drove your original, like, wanting to innovate?
Beyond laziness. Beyond
yeah,
laziness.
We
already said laziness.
We already got that covered.
I feel like a lot of it came from my dad was a framer too, and he would tell me stories like when he was starting framing early on. He was, I don't know, maybe in his 20s, and he had like one high school dropout who was like his only employee. And there was this crew of like 5 like seasoned carpenters. I mean, they were seasoned carpenters, but they were stuck in their ways, to say the least. They started like talking a bunch of crap to him, and he was like, okay, well, like, let's race. Let's bet your paycheck on it. You know, me and my high school dropout versus you and your 4-man crew. And he ended up beating him, but his work was actually cleaner too. And hearing those stories, like growing up, was kind of like exciting, because it was like the concept of being like the person who beats a team of 5 people with only one other person to help you, and then doing an even better job in general. Like, that's just like, sounds fun. Exciting.
There's not much winning better than that. It's like there's 2 guys on the other side of the roof. You're on this side, and you're like, okay, well, we'll just see who finishes first, and then we'll see how many low nails are on each side. We'll count them up. Oh man, that's so satisfying. So your dad, he was telling you stories of, I'll say, winning, like in this framework, roughly speaking, framing things. Did he say like, why we won is because we weren't kind of like stuck in these old ways? Did you put that together when you're like, 24 or whatever? Or did you put that together when you were 12 and your dad was telling you this story?
I probably mostly put it together when I was like 16 or 17, maybe. He never gave like specific things of like, this is why we won. He would say just kind of the broad concept, like what you were just saying, like we found more efficient ways and we did them, and because of that we won.
Do you ever have any competitions between like your people? I say competitions loosely. Like, what are some, I don't even know, like stories or just ways that manifests like on your job site?
Yeah, we literally did that on Friday, actually. We're building a house up here, and we were sheeting the floor, and I'm pretty good with like sheeting a subfloor. I've gotten pretty quick with it, and I have good like techniques, I guess. So I told the guys, it's me and 3 other guys up here. I told them, I want you 3 to work on one row and I'll work on the other row. And then like, I'll see if I can keep up. And I did. I totally smoked them.
You gotta remind these guys where their bread is buttered.
Zach's here too.
Oh, they're in the back seat. Absolutely. Just having to hear it again.
Well, this is his truck too, even. So I'm like,
hey guys, mind if I jump on a podcast in your truck and talk about how I smoked you doing that subfloor? Is that cool with you guys? Sure, boss, whatever you want. So is that like a regular thing? Even the idea of like you being on site, like I'm thinking kind of just of leadership. Hey, I'm also here. I'm also laying a subfloor. We're also doing the thing together. Are you thinking about that regularly in terms of hands-on when you're putting a subfloor down? I'm kind of just curious how you think about leadership, the camaraderie, the challenges, like how these different things play into that.
It's like a very dynamic thing. We're like a small enough company that like we have all like a unique relationship with each person, but we're also a big enough company that like it's kind of changes day to day. Like even with these guys here, where like we did that like little race, and it was kind of like a loose race. Like I told them like, it's not like if I need help with something, like you're not allowed to help me or
Yeah,
vice
yeah.
versa. But these guys I know would like, they would enjoy that. There's some guys that would like not have enjoyed that. And even then too, sometimes depending on the size of the crew, like sometimes I'm not even able to really be hands on just because I really have to be paying attention to like what's going on and making sure everybody has what they need.
Because as you're saying that, you called out something really like wise, which is that like, hey, not everyone is exactly the same. Like when you're kind of like hiring and bringing people in, because seemingly your business is growing, what are the things you're looking for as you're trying to build a team of people that are going to execute your vision and that are going to do it in this way that's kind of like, it's a little higher energy, it's trying to be more innovative, et cetera? Like, do you have any, I don't know, rhyme or reason to the people and what people you see work out great versus the ones that like, that wasn't right?
Honestly, the biggest thing just comes down to like attitude and just like how they vibe with the crew in general. Cause like we always work the best and we work the most efficient when we're operating as a team. And some guys get kind of stuck up and they're like, they don't want to be on a team. They want to do their own thing. That tends to not last very long. But that's pretty much it. I mean, we don't really have even any like skill prerequisites. It's just like, if you show up and you work hard and you get along with everyone, then like we'll teach you what you need to know. Right now we're at a stage where like we've got enough guys that we would probably be leaning towards like people with some experience. But even then, when people have experience, that makes it, the attitude part gets harder then as well.
Your dad was in construction. My dad was in construction. It's not like you're an expert at 15, but like, you know what a miter saw is, you know how to run a nail gun. Like you just have some experience doing this stuff. Is there a person that like has come in with, call it like almost zero knowledge, but has become someone like great on your team because of attitude?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all three of the guys that are working with me on this job right now came on with lower experience, but one of the guys, yeah, literally came on with zero experience. He, yeah, just has picked it up over the 2 or 3 years or so now.
Have they got to the point where it's like, oh yeah, they just know what to do?
A lot of times if there's like a unique problem, they will at least like double check stuff with me. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, like right now, sitting in the truck on a call, I'm not like worried that they're screwing a bunch of stuff up right now. So
Yeah, that's good.
That's pretty cool for sure.
Let's talk about the video. What part of the process do you feel like the video captured best of you and your team? And is there anything you wish people could have seen more of from the video?
I feel like it did capture really well the essence of just like what an average day is. I like that it captured some of the more like cowboy aspects of it, throwing the nail gun up onto the wall and stuff. That was fun.
That was the part that impressed me the most in the video. I would like to say, Jarod, that the whole video, it's like absolutely beautiful, but the like seamless, like you've done it 1,000 times. Those ones are heavy too. That's not as easy as it looks. Like that thing wobbles wrong, and if you throw it and your like foot's on the cord or it's wrapped around something, like that's a quick way to get a freaking like
Luke, this sounds like you're
8-penny
speaking from
nail.
experience. Have you had an injury with one of these things? Yeah.
No, I did witness a person manually put a nail through their hand. Manually. Now that was this little ER visit, didn't hit anything important. But sorry, you mentioned it and I was like, that's the moment that I was like, oh, these guys are pros. Not even a consideration of where the nail was going to go. You already knew it was going in. That was legit.
Were there any funny or unexpected moments from the filming? Like, did your team like it? Was there anything funny that we didn't? Was like, should there have been a blooper reel?
We did have a lot of fun. The thing that I think about the most as far as like when we had fun while filming was, depending on where we're at with lunch, me and Zach, whose truck I'm in, we'll bring like camp stoves and we'll cook steaks on the job site, but we didn't have a plate. So he just like wiped down a rock and just like put his like 1.5-pound bone-in ribeye on a rock and was like eating it. He's also the guy that wasn't wearing a shirt in the video, so he's just like shirtless eating a steak off of a rock.
Oh man,
And,
just the manliest crew of all time. Are you guys
life
hunting
goals,
bears during your afternoon break?
yeah, mostly just Zach. We all just kind of mooch off of his manliness.
Did they enjoy the process and the filming?
Yeah, I mean, they all thought it was cool, especially after like I was able to show them the clip, and they're like, wow, that looks really awesome. It's also funny, like, and they're kind of used to like me filming on the job site, but like when you've got like an actual production crew on site, it's like a different vibe, and it's also just people that you don't know, so they're all a little more like, is this okay? Like, is this right? It was a lot of fun. I think we enjoyed it, and the crew themselves, the production crew was great too, so we got along with them as well.
I always bug Luke about the future, but I feel like we can't end without me asking, like, what does success look like for both you and Coffman Construction? Like, how do you see your work evolving? How do you see just the industry, construction, framing, contracting, the trades in general evolving?
There's a lot of things I would like to see improved, and there's a lot of, and I would like to have a hand in it as much as possible, but like trade education specifically for framing is like not the best right now. There's sort of like a disconnect from like real world to like classroom applications there. Someone will finish school and then they'll go to a real job site, and it's kind of like it doesn't directly transfer over. That's something I'd like to change, and I think to some degree I am changing with videos and stuff like that, but I think I'd like to, have a more hands-on approach to that as well. I'd also like to, I guess, just continue to grow like what framing can be as like a career, I guess, like for someone who is just a carpenter. Like right now, it's one of the more involved and more important and more technical trades, but it's fairly low in terms of like how it's paid relative to other trades. I think there's different ways to do that. I'm too ambitious. There's too many things I want to do, but I somehow want to make it to where framers can make more, but I also want to make it to where like we get so good that we can charge less, but we can still make more than we used to make, and basically just utilizing efficiency to that degree.
Framing sort of sits in the middle of the process. Like very rarely is an end consumer just calling a framer, like you're that will happen with a plumber or a roofer or other areas, but framers almost exclusively work for GCs, at least as I understand it. When I see what you're doing on social media and the way that you're, I'll say, getting out there and getting your company out there, that feels like it'd be really compelling for the end consumer. Has that helped you with the GCs also? Yeah,
we've definitely seen like an increase of work leads from that. I mean, like I said, like education for the trades is, kind of low. So it's hard, like there's not a baseline for like what a framer is and like what a good framer is. Like you can literally just like buy $100 compressor and nail gun combo from Walmart and like congratulations, you're a framer now. So a lot of it has come from like GCs will see our work and they'll be like, oh, like you guys actually do these details, or you actually like care about X, Y, and Z. We've been struggling to find framers who know how to do that or who actually care about doing that or whatever. They don't necessarily all tell us a reason. Some GCs have told us like, yeah, you text me back, which is awesome.
Yeah.
No one texts me back. So,
well, Jarod, this has been awesome, man. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for letting us come film your, you guys on the job site and doing awesome work and eating steaks off rocks,
Yeah.
Right.
Go back to being off the grid where the restaurants are unlisted.
That's right.
The steaks are eaten on rocks. And, I don't know. If you do manage to do some other shenanigans, I'm sure we'll see it on Instagram.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Doing good work. The Good Contractor Podcast is powered by Company Cam.
Company Cam is an app built to help contractors organize their with multiple people at multiple locations snapping hundreds of photos. Organizing them can become a full-time job. That's where Company Cam comes in. Sign up today to get your team started.